Part 73. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 721. They thought that Xianxia knew that the formation was at its last moment, so he stepped up the input of the Heavenly Master's power and soul-controlling power. The two of them found that with such strong soul control power and the power of the Heavenly Master, they could set up the formation much faster. At this time, those who entered the mountain turned over the place where the vision appeared and found no so-called treasure. Except for a deep cave, there was nothing. Those with quick minds immediately thought that this was a plan to lure the tiger away from the mountain. Xuanhuan must be doing something to lure them away. Had it not been for this cave here, they would have known they had been cheated sooner. Those who wanted to understand immediately took off in the air and flew toward the South City Gate, hoping that it was not too late. Before they arrived, they saw a group of people busy doing something in front of the South City Gate from a distance. Xuanhuan glanced at the people returning from the sky and raised the corners of his lips. "You came back just in time to see the completion of the city defense formation." He immediately used the sound transmission stone to tell Xianxia, "Luo, activate the formation." As soon as Xianxia received Xuanhuan's voice transmission, the power of soul control and the power of the Heavenly Master in his hand did not withdraw, but he added the spiritual power that activated the formation, and instantly the formation's eyes emitted a dazzling light. Then this ray of light centered on the formation eye, wrapped around the inner city on both sides and rushed towards the South City Gate. In just an instant, the original outer city of Xuanhuan Imperial City was enveloped by a wall of light. The light did not last too long, just for a moment. Flash passed. Xuanhuan and Xianxia looked at each other and succeeded. Xianxia has a new understanding of the strength of his son-in-law. This kid's brain is so good that he can calculate things down to the bone. Even without the blessing of his daughter's Heavenly Master power and soul control power, they can still complete the formation of the city defense, but they will just catch up. When those people come back, they can still see the scene of those people being excluded from the formation. Xuanhuan glanced at the people who were flying back and said to Xianxia, "Father-in-law, let's go back." Xianxia nodded. Although those people couldn't get into the formation when they arrived, they were safe and they didn't use their original appearance. Those people wouldn't know that Xuanhuan had set up the formation himself. But there is really no need to be treated like a monkey here. Xuanhuan waved to Xianxia, and Xianxia knew that they could follow their master into the city, and immediately followed them in an orderly manner. Those who came back from the air first without exception bumped into the city defense formation, and then fell out in embarrassment. It's good that he was strong and reacted quickly. He quickly stabilized his body and landed on the ground. Although he was attacked by force, he didn't feel embarrassed. Those who reacted slowly were hit hard by the counter-attack force of the formation, and fell to the ground with their arms stretched out. They were as embarrassed as they could be. After they stood up, they rushed to the formation one after another. Only then did they realize that there was a force they could not see preventing them from entering. This power is different from the previous restrictions in the G family's residence. It should be a formation. There is nothing they don't understand now. Xuanhuan sent them away just to set up the city defense formation. However, how powerful the formation just laid out could be, and someone immediately attacked the formation angrily. But without exception, they were all counterattacked by the defensive and offensive power of the formation. It was similar to the previous restriction, and many people were injured instantly. At this time, those people in the mountains also returned. When everyone realized that they had been tricked, the expressions on their faces were wonderful. There is only one person who is happy, and that is Fang 11er. Her good friend's fiancé is so powerful that she seems to be worried in vain. The people outside were very unwilling and immediately asked if there were any formation masters to see if they could break the formation. They didn't believe it, and it wasn't forbidden. There were so many of them that they couldn't break a formation. The outside suddenly became lively. Some people wanted to break the formation forcefully, so they united many people to attack one place. However, the stronger the attack, the stronger the counterattack, and everyone was injured without exception. After several trials, they all calmed down and waited for the formation master to study whether the formation could be broken. The Black Feather Guards were shocked when they discovered the city defense formation outside. They didn't know when Xuanhuan arranged for people to set up the formation. As Xuanhuan expected, those who originally wanted to keep some tribesmen outside made up their minds to move all the tribesmen over. This is simply the safest city in the entire continent. They would be stupid to hesitate any longer. At this time, Yuan Xianluo and the others had returned to the palace. Yuan Xianxia went back to see his wife and children first. Yuan Xianluo and Xuanhuan sat down to discuss the next thing. I will take Yun Tuan, Baihu, and Wu Ji into the training place later. Xuanhuan didn't want to waste time. The most important thing now was to become stronger quickly. Yan Xianluo nodded, okay, I'll check on my mother and Anan later. I'll go out to see my sworn brother and come back. If mother and Anan have finished breaking through, I'll send them into my space magic weapon first to experience. Xuanhuan said, I think it would be more suitable for my father-in-law to follow me into the Ji family's training ground. Yan Xianluo blinked and understood what he meant. Her father's cultivation level was already at the peak of the lower gods. The effect of training in her space magic weapon was not very obvious. Her space magic weapon was more suitable for people below the level. Go in and practice. Ask my father later. Yan Xianluo did not make the decision for her father. Because she knew very well that in her father's heart, neither she nor Anan was as important as her mother, so whether her father followed Xuanhuan to the Ji family's training ground depended on her mother's situation. Xuanhuan also saw how much his father-in-law cared about his mother-in-law. As the two of them were talking, Zhu Chenjai came over with his wife and son. Yan Xianluo looked at her mother's cultivation level, which had not changed, but the aura of the heavenly master had become much stronger. My younger brother's cultivation level has spanned 2 major levels. Yesterday when I first met my younger brother, his cultivation level was at the 2nd level of the UN level, and now he is at the 2nd level of the spirit level. This shows that Anan has crossed 2 major levels. This promotion speed is really scary. But in Anan's case, this is nothing. After all, his talent was suppressed too hard after being smuggled out. Once the destiny is regained and released, an explosive breakthrough is normal. Yan Xianluo told her parents what she had just discussed with Xuanhuan and asked them what they meant. Yu Chenjai didn't hesitate at all. Dad and Zhekong are going into practice. Although Chenjai has never experienced in his daughter's space magic weapon, he believes in Xuanhuan's judgment that the experience there must be unsuitable for his level of cultivation. Long Moran also said, Mother and Anan go into your space magic weapon to practice. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 722. Long Moran knew very well that her current strength was too weak, and her cultivation was not as good as that of her daughter, but she was not discouraged. Her talent was here, and the replaced luck had been taken back by her daughter. As long as she practiced hard, the speed of cultivation improvement will not be too slow. She does not want to be a burden to the family, she wants to be the support of her children. Now that the decision was made, Yan Xianluo released Yun Tuan, Baihu, and Wu Ji. Xuanhuan took Yan Chenjai, Yun Tuan, and his spiritual pets Baihu and Wu Ji to study with the princes. In the small palace behind the palace, Yan Xianluo did not follow, she took her mother and younger brother directly into her Pangu space. Wan Anluo has been curious since he learned that his sister had such a space yesterday. Finally he came in. He looked at his sister's space curiously. It was really like a small world. Yan Xianluo took her mother and brother for a walk in the space. Yan Anluo was very curious when she saw the huge black dumpling. Long Moran was shocked that the space stone milk was actually brought into her Pangu space by her daughter. My daughter's luck is not easy to describe. When I saw the furniture in my daughter's room, they were all furniture from the small courtyard in Tianshan Imperial City where their family had lived, and my eyes suddenly became wet. I instantly remembered the happy life of their family of 3 in that small yard. Although it was only 10 years, it was the happiest 10 years in her life. Yan Xianglou took out the space training weapon, threw it in an open space, and opened the door on the first floor. Mom, Enan, you go in and practice. There are 9 floors in total. You can count as many floors as you can practice. But after you finish 9 floors, it means that this place has no training effect for you. She accompanied her mother and brother to the door on the first floor. Does Mother and Enan have any weapons? Wan Unluo's eyes suddenly lit up, and she looked at her sister expectantly. Sister, I don't have one. Long Moran was speechless. Although they had lived a very hard life these years, they were not poor, nor did they owe anything to him. How could he and his sister look like they were crying about poverty? Enan really doesn't have a weapon yet. Mom and your father don't want him to do it casually. He is still young anyway, so they want to give him a suitable weapon, just like Luo did back then, Long Moran explained. Yan Xianglou understood that, just like her, she had not had a suitable weapon for several years, and her parents did not force her to use any weapon. Later on, her father found Flying Lotus for her and made her understand that the advantage of not giving in was that she could become one with her own weapons more quickly. Mom, you and Enan will choose a suitable weapon first, and then practice it. This will be more effective. The practice process is also a run-in with the weapon, Ruan Xianglou said. She remembered that her mother's weapon seemed to be a long sword, just like her father's. It seemed to be a couple's sword, but it must not be enough after arriving in the higher continent. Long Moran wanted to refuse, but Yan Xianglou said again, Mom, you can keep the weapons from the past as memories, but the weapons must be in your hands, so that the combat effectiveness will be stronger. Long Moran smiled, Mom, it's better for Luo to understand. Okay, I'll listen to you. You just choose the one you want most, and you must take advantage of it. After Yan Xianglou warned them, he sent the 2 of them to the weapons level. At this time, she discovered that Changfeng had finally obtained his skill. She was a little curious as to what Changfeng's skill was and why it took so long to choose it. Music Xian came out in the morning. Fortunately for him, it was already past noon. With a thought, she sent Changfeng out of the space, and she also went out. After my mother and brother selected weapons, she could use her mind to send them to the level of experience without having to stay in space. Changfeng looked a little serious after he came out. Yan Xianglou saw that he still chose a long sword, but the aura of this long sword was more restrained. She asked, What's wrong? Is there no suitable technique for you in it? Changfeng shook his head, No, I hesitated between the 2 techniques and finally chose this one. Yan Xianglou said, Since you have spent so long choosing it, it is the most suitable for you. Don't think too much about it, just practice hard. She could see that although Changfeng had made a choice, he was still unsure in his heart. Changfeng nodded, Well, thank you mistress for the opportunity. After the exercise is chosen, it will automatically enter the spiritual consciousness. There are no inheritance books such as books. Therefore, Yan Xianglou does not know what the exercise Changfeng has chosen. Changfeng has hesitated to make a decision for so long. This should be more suitable for him. Even if it is not the most suitable, now that he has made a choice, he cannot regret it. The skill is imprinted into the consciousness, and there is no other choice except to practice or not to practice. If you don't practice the skill, you can't practice other skills. This is the main reason why Changfeng hesitated for so long. Mother, where is the master? After Changfeng gathered his emotions, he realized that Ji Zhozhong was not there. After checking with his spiritual sense, there was no trace of him in the entire palace. He's gone to practice and won't be able to come out until a month later. You can go find Xianxia. Zhizhong should have an explanation for him, Ruan Xianglou said. Yes, Chang Feng saluted and went to find Xianxia. Yan Xianglou glanced at Zimo, who was still sitting on the top of the hall, and said, Ancestor Zimo, I want to go out. Do you want to go out with me? Zimo heard this and looked at her. Can you take me out of here? Yan Xianglou said with a smile like a flower, of course, I am a heavenly master. Zimo thought for a while and said, it's okay to go for a walk with you. I'll also see what's going on outside. It has been 30,000 years. What the spiritual world is like now after losing the rule of the human emperor is impossible to imagine just by thinking about it. You have to see it with your own eyes. Besides, he had heard that the little girl was going to see her adopted brother, who was naturally a man and the devil king of the devil world. If he followed, he could also help Xiaozi watch his wife and avoid being kidnapped. Furthermore, he has never seen people from the spirit world get along so well with people from the demon world, and even become sworn brothers and sisters. He would like to see what kind of person the devil king of the demon world is now. After saying this, he floated down from above and landed in front of Yan Xianglou. Yan Xianglou smiled and said, there is only one way to leave here, which is to apply an additional spell to make your soul body temporarily attached to my soul power. In this way, you cannot be too far away from me, no more than 10 meters away. Zimo nodded and said, didn't you just become a heavenly master? How come you know such an ancient magic? Additional spells are not spells that only high-level heavenly masters can master. Even if they are lucky enough to wait for this spell, they seem to be unable to cast it for decades. How can this girl actually know it? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 723. Yu Xianglou said, I just learned it. Zimo was speechless. I'm really curious about what kind of powerful soul control technique you learned. Is it an ancient technique? Zimo's words immediately reminded Yan Xianglou. Could it be that the soul control technique that the Long family got from that person was really an ancient soul control technique? Otherwise, how could it be so powerful? She thought it was very possible. In addition, the cultivation technique she learned was the ancient Pangu flower blooming technique, and she had a photographic memory. Therefore, she was able to learn the ancient celestial master's spells easily and did not find it difficult. Wanting to know whether the soul control technique she practiced was an ancient soul control technique was also very simple. She named several spells one after another and asked Zimo if it was an ancient technique. With the way Zimo looked at her, Yan Xianglou understood without saying anything that the soul control technique she practiced was indeed an ancient technique. Zimo sighed, the spells you mentioned are all the spells of the ancient celestial masters. I don't know if the level of the celestial masters' spells on the mainland today is consistent. The celestial masters' spells in the ancient times are not the celestial masters of our time. Comparable. Luo Yetu, before you break through to the level, don't let anyone know that you are a heavenly master, at least don't let people know that you are learning the Shanggu soul controlling technique, otherwise you will face even worse things than you are now. Brutal reality. He pointed at the sky, people there have no bottom line and can do anything. If I knew that the soul control technique you learned is an ancient technique, I would definitely get it at any cost. I understand. Yan Xianglou's tone became a little heavy. Originally, the main reason why she had been hiding her identity as a celestial master was because she did not want to be the target of public criticism. It is even more impossible now. The ancient cultivation techniques can already make people lose their heads. If it is the ancient celestial master's spell, She knows what will happen without even thinking about it. Fortunately, she is cautious and has no utilitarianism, otherwise she might have gotten into serious trouble. It seems that before he breaks through to the divine level, his identity as a heavenly master still has to be hidden. Yan Xianglou didn't expect that she just wanted to take Gizmo out and actually found out the origin of the soul control technique she learned. This is not an unexpected surprise. Gizmo glanced at the dark crowd outside and said, "These people won't leave for a while, so we'd better leave from the back." Yan Xianglou nodded and said, "Okay, listen to Ancestor Zimo." After the drama Jin Yutang and the others put on the mountain, no one believed there was anything in the mountain, and they no longer paid attention to the situation in the mountain. Indeed, it was harder to be discovered if you walked from the back. Yan Xianglou and Gizmo left from behind. She had a sapphire token on her body, so she could freely enter and exit the restricted area. She also knew how to get out of the formation in the outer city, so the two of them went out smoothly. Gizmo left the ruins of the imperial city for the first time in 30,000 years and walked in the lush woods again. He felt as if he had been resurrected and felt happy both physically and mentally. Yan Xianglou glanced in the direction of the palace and took out the sound transmission stone to contact Ge Tianjun. "Brother, where are you? Where shall we meet?" Ge Tianjun has been worried about Yan Xianglou. While he was discussing something, he suddenly noticed that the sound transmission stone lit up. He immediately took it out and saw that it was the sound transmission from Yan Xianglou. The expression on his face became much gentler. Waving his hands to the people below, he said, "Everyone, please go down." After saying this, he stood up and left the hall. The ministers looked at me and I looked at you. They didn't know what was going on with the king. Why did he leave so suddenly? After leaving the main hall, Ge Tianjun replied to Yan Xianglou, "Where are you?" "I'll find you," Yan Xianglou said quickly. "It's better that I go find my brother. It's not convenient for me here because there are too many people. His adopted brother is a demon king. If he comes here and is noticed by others, he will definitely cause a lot of trouble without causing big trouble. Don't cause trouble for him." Ge Tianjun said, "Are you still living at Ji's house?" "Well, I contacted my brother as soon as I came out," Yan Xianglou said matter-of-factly. "Xianglou, go and wait for me at the foot of the mountain behind Ji's residence. I'll go there right away." Ge Tianjun immediately chose a place. Yan Xianglou looked at where she was and said, "Brother, I'm right where you said I am." "Okay, wait for me." Ge Tianjun put away the sound transmission stone, took out a teleportation array disk and disappeared. Before Yan Xianglou picked up the sound transmission stone, she saw Ge Tianjun, who was dressed in black robe and looked domineering, appearing in front of her. She said happily, "Brother, I haven't seen you in a few years, and you seem to be more domineering." Ge Tianjun was amused by her words. "When I met you back then, I couldn't survive. How could I be so domineering?" Yan Xianglou shook her head and said, "Who said that? My brother at that time was also very domineering and scary." "Xianglou was also scared at that time," Ge Tianjun asked with a smile. "Why aren't you afraid?" "I didn't know much about demon cultivators at that time. I thought that demon cultivators were all monsters. I didn't think that demon cultivators were human beings, but they only practiced in different ways," Ruan Xianglou said matter-of-factly. The little girl who pretended to be calm appeared in front of Ge Tianjun's eyes, but she had excellent medical skills. If he hadn't met her, he would have died in the lower continent and never come back. Fu Qingfeng had advised him not to pay too much attention to spiritual practice. Even if it was a life-saving gift, just give it back when she needed it. There was no need to give it so sincerely. He didn't think there was true love in this world, and he didn't believe it at first, but after meeting the little girl in front of him again, he wanted to believe it again. The fate between people is very strange. It is obvious that they are completely unrelated strangers, and they do not even live on the same land. Whether it is the gap in continental level, the gap in identity, or the gap in spiritual and demonic cultivation, any of these points could be a reason to prevent their relationship from going forward. However, at that moment, it seemed that nothing mattered. He made an oath with this little girl by accident and became brothers and sisters with different surnames. Although they are bound by an oath, they will not do harm to each other, but there are too many variables in this world. Let's go, I'll take you to the demon palace. I've prepared a palace for you. See if you like it. You can go there as you like and stay for as long as you want. When you get married, I'll be your mother's family. Who can bully you? Just tell me, I will support you. Xianxia has brothers, but no sisters. The brothers are almost enemies because of the throne. Now he finally has a sister that he can hold in the palm of his hand and dote on. He is in a great mood. Xianxia's apricot eyes suddenly turned into a pair of crescent moons when she smiled. By the way, brother, there is a soul body following me. He cannot leave me 10 steps away for the time being. Can I take him with me? Xianxia did not want to conceal Gizmo's existence, but she would not tell him Gizmo's identity. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 724. Gizmo raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect that Xianxia trusted Xianxia so much that he actually told Xianxia about his existence. How did he know that Xianxia trusted Xianxia? Partly, but mainly because she felt that the trust was mutual, so she told Xianxia frankly. Besides, with Xianxia's strength, he would probably be able to detect it even if he didn't say that Gizmo had such a strong soul body. It's better to say it openly from the beginning. Xianxia actually noticed the breath of the soul body around Xianxia as soon as he appeared. The demon cultivator is very sensitive to the soul body. But he didn't ask because he wasn't sure whether the soul body was related to his sister. After hearing what Xianxia said, Xianxia smiled. How could his sister be so happy when she trusted him so much? Of course, Xianxia can make the decision on this matter. Xianxia let out a sigh of relief and said, "That's good, brother. Will I cause trouble for you if I go to the demon palace? After all, my current identity is too conspicuous. If people know that I am in the demon palace, not to mention the spiritual world, even the demon realm will not turn the world upside down." From the beginning, she just wanted to make an appointment with Xianxia to get together. She didn't want to go to the demon palace at all. Xianxia never said he would take her to the demon palace before. Go directly to the demon palace, all my people are there, and no news of your presence will be leaked. When the opportunity is right, I will let you meet those old antiques from the demon realm. When mentioning this matter, Xianxia was obviously not in a good mood. Okay, I just want to see and talk to my brother. I'm going to stay for one night. I'll be back tomorrow. Xianxia didn't want to stay in the magic palace for long. She wanted to go into the palace space magic weapon as soon as possible to experience it. Okay, I'll give you a token. If you want to go to the demon palace in the future, just use the teleportation disc that I gave you and add this token to reach your bedroom in the demon palace directly. Xianxia took out a black. The token was handed to Xianxia. Xianxia didn't know what expression to use to express her mood at this time. She got another token, and any one she took out was something that the world wanted but could not get. She took the pitch black token with a magic word written on it, which made people feel fearful just by looking at it. "Brother, didn't you give me a token?" Xianxia asked, looking at the token. "That jade token contains the power of my strongest attack at that time. It was originally used by me for self-defense. I gave it to you to protect you once in your life. It has nothing to do with this token." "Same, that piece can only be used once," Xianxia explained. Xianxia understood. To put it simply, the token was condensed by Xianxia himself. It is a one-time token. This is the real Demon King's token and can be used repeatedly. Okay, thank you, brother, this will make it easier for me to come see you. Yan Xianglue was not polite and kept it first. Although she would not go to the demon palace often, it would be very convenient to have this token when she had something to do. Gizmo kept looking at the two of them, and also looked at Xianxia, the Demon King, very seriously. He has met the Demon King from 30,000 years ago, and they are related by blood. Xianxia still looks similar to that Demon King. It's just that Xianxia is younger, the youngest among the Demon Kings he knows, but his aura is the strongest. Seeing the way the two of them got along, Xianxia actually gave the Demon King's token to the girl Yan Xianglue. Apparently Luo Yetu still doesn't know the function of the Demon King's token. This Demon King's token is a token that has never left the body of the previous Demon King. It is an existence that can command the demon army. He actually gave up to the girl like this, just to facilitate her coming to the demon palace. The relationship between the two is really not ordinary deep. Is it really a brother-sister relationship? After all, the two are not related by blood. Xianxia took out a formation disc and asked, "Can that soul body follow you when it teleports? Don't let him take his sister away." The soul body was left behind. Yan Xianglue nodded, yes. Seeing Xianxia's array, it was the same as the one given to her 3 years ago, but the breath was longer. Only then did Yan Xianglue realize that the formation disc that her sworn brother had given her was not a simple formation disc, but one that could reach directly to the demon palace. When he first decided to become sworn brothers, Xianxia treated himself sincerely. After thinking about this, Yan Xianglue was moved by Xianxia. Whoever said that the devil is ruthless means that he is not sincere and treats you sincerely, and he will also reciprocate your sincerity. Demons also have feelings, and they are more direct. Yan Xianglue feels that she is getting happier and happier. She has parents, a younger brother, and an older brother. Her family is getting stronger and stronger. She is no longer alone. Xianxia input magic power to activate the array disc, which wrapped around Yan Xianglue, and the two figures disappeared from the place. Gizmo was worried at first that since he was a soul, Xianxia would not be able to teleport him away using the array disc. But when the formation disc teleported Yan Xianglue away, a strong pulling force pulled him in too. It was then that he truly believed that the soul control technique practiced by Yan Xianglue was indeed an ancient technique. Only the ancient soul control technique can do this, tightly binding the soul body to one side. Gizmo's eyes lit up as he thought, knowing that the transmission had ended. This array is indeed extraordinary, it is so fast. You must know that there is still a gap between the spiritual world and the demon world. Even the strongest gods can't control the past chasm. Ordinary formation discs cannot cross that gap and directly travel between the two worlds of demons and spirits. Even in the spirit world and demon world at that time, there were not many such arrays. Xianxia was so generous to his sister, Yan Xianglue. Gizmo looked at the surrounding buildings and knew that they had arrived at the demon palace. Yan Xianglue looked at the demon palace excitedly. It was not as dark and cold as she imagined. On the contrary, the demon palace under the sun was bright, tall, grand, and luxurious. This was her first impression of the demon palace. After carefully sensing it, the demonic energy here is very strong, but the spiritual energy is also very strong. In fact, whether it is demonic cultivation or spiritual cultivation, you need to absorb spiritual energy. Demonic cultivation just converts the inhaled spiritual energy into magic power, while spiritual cultivation converts the inhaled spiritual energy into spiritual power. Spiritual cultivators cannot inhale demonic energy, and the consequences will be disastrous, but demonic cultivators are not restricted, because they themselves inhale spiritual energy and convert it into magic power. Looking at it this way, In terms of cultivation, demonic cultivation actually has more advantages than spiritual cultivation, and it is not restricted. Tianjun said, the evil spirit here is very strong. Is Xianglou okay? The biggest problem in not being able to enter the demonic world through spiritual cultivation is that there is too much demonic energy. In the past, when the spirits and demons were not divided into different families, because the demons practiced separately and did not gather in one place, the demonic energy would not have any negative impact on the spiritual cultivation. End of this chapter. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 725. But since spirits and demons were divided into two realms, demon cultivators have gathered together, and their territory is not as large as the spirit world. Therefore, the demonic aura is very strong where they live. Those who are new to spiritual cultivation will be affected by the demonic aura. If they inhale the demonic aura, the consequences will be serious. It's unimaginable. Unless your spiritual cultivation reaches the level, you can move around in the demon world and be strong enough to resist the invasion of demonic energy. Tianjun looked at Yu Xianglou and didn't see any discomfort in her. He didn't even notice that she was using her spiritual power to resist the evil spirit. Yan Xianglou smiled and said, "It's okay. Maybe it's because the magic bead was contracted by her, and the demonic energy has no effect on her. On the contrary, even if she absorbs some demonic energy into her body, it will be directly absorbed by the magic bead." Gizmo looked at Yan Xianglou in surprise. How could she not be affected by the evil spirit? Is there such a spiritual practice? If he hadn't seen her absorb spiritual energy and practice with his own eyes, he would have suspected that she was a demon cultivator. Tianjun was also surprised. It seems that I underestimated Xianglou and thought I wanted to give you a layer of protection. Yan Xianglou smiled lightly, I have many abilities. Tianjun was not disgusted by the arrogant tone. On the contrary, it was in line with his feelings. Mo Xiu's mood is to do whatever he wants. Yuan Xianglou's character is very similar to Mo Xiu's mood. Let's go and see your palace. Tianjun led the way. I didn't meet many people along the way, but everyone I met greeted Tianjun respectfully. I was not surprised at all when I saw the spiritual cultivator of Yan Xianglou. Yan Xianglou thought to himself, it seems that his sworn brother has put the demon palace in order after he came back. It is obvious that the entire demon palace is now in his hands, and the people here are all loyal to him. The place where they appeared was the harem of the demon palace. Tianjun introduced the demon palace to her all the way, and then pointed to the palace in front and said, that is my bedroom. Xianglou's bedroom is not far away. Yan Xianglou glanced at where Tianjun was pointing. Tianjun was the demon king, and the palace he lived in was naturally the most luxurious in the entire palace. But when she saw her bedroom, it was not much smaller than Tianjun's, and it looked equally luxurious on the outside. Walking into the bedroom, the interior was even more luxurious. Yan Xianglou suspected that Tianjun had put all the luxurious furnishings he could get in her bedroom. I don't live here all the time. Why do you bother me so much? Yuan Xianglou turned to Tianjun and said. My sister wants to live in the best place even if she stays for one day. Tianjun smiled. The cold devil's smile made the corners of Gizmo's mouth twitch. Why did he feel that Tianjun didn't look like the devil at that moment? If it weren't for the black royal robe, he would definitely be someone's gentle young master. Brother, don't I have a sister-in-law? Yan Xianglou asked doubtfully. They came directly to the harem of the demon palace. Logically speaking, the demon king's harem is here. Why didn't they see a female mistress? Not even the waiters saw a woman. Tianjun laughed and said, what kind of wife are you looking for? Where there are many women, there will be more trouble. Besides, what kind of woman does Xianglou think is worthy of your brother? Yan Xianglou was speechless. Brother, we have to keep a low profile, otherwise it will be difficult to find a wife. Ha ha ha, my sister is right, your brother is already in his 30s, why haven't he found a wife yet? It turns out that's the reason, Ge Tianjun said teasingly. Yan Xiongluo was speechless. You are a demon king. If you want a wife, you will get a lot of people if you wave. This is definitely not the reason why you don't have a wife. She just said it casually, and he can really get rid of it? Brother, sit down and let me take a look at your body. Since she is here, Yan Xiongluo naturally wants to see how her adopted brother is doing. She no longer had to worry about Ge Tianjun not having a wife, it was not something she should worry about. Many talented monks have been alone all their lives. Those monks practice the path of ruthlessness, so they automatically cut off the love between their children. Besides, she really couldn't help her sworn brother find a wife. If Ge Tianjun wanted to marry a wife, he had to find a woman from the demon world, otherwise the two powers of demons wouldn't be able to make a couple. Although Ge Tianjun felt that there was nothing wrong with his body, he did not refuse Yan Xiongluo's kindness. He sat down at the table and put his wrist on the table. Xiongluo's medical skills are indeed very strong. 3 years ago, he not only cured my injuries, repaired my danshan, saved my yuan ying, but also restored my body. All my hidden injuries were cured, and after I came back, I found that practicing was much easier than before, and advancing in the past 3 years was just like playing. This is also the main reason why after he returned to the Demon Palace, he was able to quickly take control of the Demon Palace, eliminate dissidents, and firmly control the demon world in his hands. If he is strong, he will have the right to speak with his fists. Yan Xiongluo is quite confident in her medical skills, I just said the benefits will come later. Ge Tianjun said with a smile on his face, well, my sister is great. Gizmo was shocked. How old was Yu Xiongluo 3 years ago? She must be 13 years old, and her medical skills are so powerful. She can actually heal a damaged danshan and a dying nascent soul. Suddenly, Gizmo felt that it was too low-key for Yan Xiongluo to have the reputation of being a miracle doctor just now. Yan Xiongluo felt Ge Tianjun's pulse. The more she felt, the darker her face became. Seeing that Ge Tianjun was confused, he was in good health. Why did his sister look like this? Didn't she look like she was fine? Is there something wrong with my body again, or is someone plotting against me again without knowing it? Ge Tianjun did not bother Yu Xiongluo to check her pulse, but the expression on his face darkened. After a while, Yan Xiongluo let go of his hand and said, brother, you have been tricked again. After finishing his words, he added, it seems like you know nothing about it. Gizmo was stunned. Ge Tianjun looked like he was in good health. What seemed to be a problem? I really don't know anything. I don't feel any discomfort in my body, and there is no problem in practicing, Ge Tianjun said truthfully. Yan Xiongluo sighed, brother, you have been poisoned again. This poison has no smell, and the effect is not obvious at first. It will not show symptoms until it accumulates to a certain level and explodes. But by then it will be too late to detoxify. There is nothing I can do. Ge Tianjun's face was extremely gloomy. What kind of poison? Brother, have you ever heard of the magic cherry fruit? Yan Xiongluo asked. She had never seen this magic cherry fruit before, but she had seen pictures and its effects in Shiyulu. When she first checked Ge Tianjun's pulse, she had not thought it was a magic cherry fruit. Based on the symptoms, she searched for poisons with such effects in her mind. Think of the magic cherry fruit. Phantom cherry fruit. Ge Tianjun's expression suddenly changed. Even though he didn't know that he was poisoned by the magic cherry fruit, he really knew about the magic cherry fruit because he had seen a person when he was a child. He was poisoned by the magic cherry fruit and his nascent soul was destroyed. His cultivation was ruined and he became a waste. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the magic cherry fruit, Yan Xianglou said with certainty. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 726. How long have you been poisoned? Tianjun's tone was calm, but he was also very nervous. Once the poison of the magic cherry fruit breaks out, there will be no cure. It didn't last long, only about 10 days, and ordinary doctors couldn't tell. This is not something Yan Xianglou is bragging about. It is because of her strong mental power that she can see the signs of poisoning before they are obvious. Tianjun breathed a sigh of relief. He had to take the magic cherry fruit for 3 months to be effective. Fortunately, he discovered it early. The sister he recognized was really his lucky star. So, Xianglou can detoxify. I am afraid that the medicinal materials for detoxifying the magic cherry fruit will not be available in a short time. It will take a year at the earliest, because 4 of the medicinal materials belong to the 4 seasons. They must be picked when they are fresh and immediately refined into juice. Finally, they will be collected and combined. It's all about being together, said Yan Xianglou. Within a year, his cultivation had been destroyed, and he even lost his life. Tianjun knew that since Yan Xianglou said this, there was another way. Xianglou, are there any other ways to detoxify? It's too late to make detoxifying pills, but you can use silver needles to detoxify, Yan Xianglou said. This is why she found out that Tianjun was being plotted again, but she was not in a hurry, because the situation was still under her control, and there was not only one way to detoxify. Tianjun looked at Yan Xianglou and said helplessly, it really ruined the joyful atmosphere of our reunion. Brother, detoxification is easy, but you have to cut off the source of the poisoning, otherwise, if you continue to take the poison from the magic cherry fruit after detoxification, the result will still be the same, Yu Xianglou reminded Tianjun. Tianjun nodded. How do phantom cherry fruits usually poison people? Oral administration is the only way, Yan Xianglou said. Tianjun's eyes narrowed. His cultivation level has been continuously improved since he came back 3 years ago. He is now at the peak of the gods. Moreover, he has rarely eaten food since he broke through to the king level in his teens. In the past 3 years, he has not even had tea. He didn't have time to drink. If he had eaten the poison himself, he already knew who this person was. At this moment, someone outside the door reported, Your Majesty, the Queen Mother's people have brought spiritual juice to the king. Yu Xianglou paused and looked at Tianjun, and sure enough, he looked extremely ugly. As soon as they said that the poison could only be taken in through the mouth, someone brought food, which was still juice. Tianjun's tone did not change much, go and get it and bring it here. The person outside the door immediately responded, yes. After a while, a guard came in carrying a food box with the characteristics of the demon palace. He first saluted Tianjun and then congratulated Yan Xianglou. Then he put the food box on the table nearby, opened it carefully, took out the jade bowl filled with juice, and brought it to Tianjun. Tianjun waved his hand to the guard, go down. The guard immediately stepped back to the outside of the threshold, then turned around and walked to a place farther away to guard. Xianglou, take a look, are there any phantom cherry fruits? Tianjun said to Xianglou. Yan Xianglou sighed, don't look at it, you can't go wrong with the taste. Isn't the Queen Mother the mother of Tianjun? Why would a mother destroy her own son in such a way? This son is still the best and the devil? She couldn't understand what a mother who was so cruel to her child was thinking. If she had a child in the future, she would be willing to give her life to her child, so why would she harm her own child? Tianjun was silent for a while, is this thing useful? Yan Xianglou glanced at the jade bowl filled with lingying fruit juice. It's good for refining poison. I'll keep it with Xianglou from now on. The magic cherry fruit is not easy to find. Tianjun's tone fluctuated at all. No, it's as if his mother's harm to him didn't exist. Yan Xianglou knew that Tianjun didn't want to expose the Queen Mother's poisoning now, so he would keep it as long as the Queen Mother gave it to him and keep it for her to refine the poison. After all, this is a daily delivery, one magic cherry fruit a day, which is more than 90 in 3 months. Although 10 have been wasted, aren't there still more than 80? He was a little curious about who got so many phantom cherry fruits for his mother. Yan Xianglou didn't expect that Tianjun would do this. He definitely wasn't just accumulating magic cherry fruit poison for her. She will not interfere in his family affairs. Even if she is a blood brother, she must treat him appropriately. Okay, let me detoxify my brother. Yang Xiang neatly took out a larger jade bottle and collected the magic cherry fruit juice. What do you need me to do? Tianjun asked cooperatively. He really didn't expect that after 3 years of not seeing her, he would have to ask Yan Xianglou to save him again. His sister was really his lucky star, the one who saved his life time and time again. Just take off your shirt. Yan Xianglou took out the needle roll. Tianjun neatly took off his robe, exposing his chest and back. Gizmo twitched the corner of his mouth. Girl, when you look at other men's bodies like this, aren't you worried that Zhekong will make him jealous? Turning his eyes to Tianjun, Gizmo had to admit that Tianjun had a really good figure and was very manly. While looking at Yan Xianglou, the girl's expression didn't change at all, and she didn't notice the man's physical discomfort. She raised and lowered the needle, and in the blink of an eye, Tianjun received more than a dozen needles on his chest and back. Yan Xianglou put the jade bowl into Tianjun's hand and said, "Hold it and catch the poison. Hold it firmly and keep the poison for me." Gizmo's eyes twitched. This girl is so obsessed with poisons that she won't let go of the poison excreted from her body. You can imagine how much poison this girl has in her hands, but you can't offend her, otherwise you won't know how she died. Tianjun held the jade bowl obediently and said, "Don't worry, you won't spill a drop. Just now I was worried that the 10 days of poison were wasted, but now I see where it was wasted. I see that my younger sister is really quite capable. Her talent in medical skills is indeed worthy of the title of miracle doctor." Yan Xianglou sat on a chair and waited. After about a quarter of an hour, she took a silver needle and pricked the index finger of Tianjun's right hand. Immediately, a drop of black blood dripped down. "When it stops dripping, the poison will be gone," said Yan Xianglou. Tianjun looked down and watched the black blood on his index finger dripping into the jade bowl drop by drop at a slow pace. The poison didn't seem to be dripping from his fingertips, but rather from his heart. "Mother, you don't want to see me so much, and you want to destroy me in such a cruel way?" He didn't show any emotion at all, but Yan Xianglou's mental power was so strong, how could she not know his mood at this time? "Brother, I found my parents. From now on, my mother will be your mother." Of course Tianjun understood the meaning of this sentence. He turned to look at Yan Xianglou and smiled. "That's settled." Yan Xianglou nodded, "Of course, my mother will like you very much." The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 727. The implication is that if your mother doesn't like you, don't be sad, there is someone who likes you. "Well, I'll have a chance to see you in the future." Tianjun's heart felt warm, and the mother's voice sounded very natural. This is the first time he has been called like this since he was a child. He was born in the palace of the demon world, and he is the son of a queen. He has been calling his mother who gave birth to him as mother since he was a child. Only today did he realize that this Niang is so affectionate. Yan Xianglou said silently in her heart, "She has already given her mother a share to Jizhong, and also given a share to her sworn brother. Plus she and Anan, will her mother be able to bear the pain? Tianjun held the jade bowl until the black blood stopped dripping. Then Yan Xianglou took the jade bowl and put it away without ceremony. Then he took off the silver needles on Tianjun's chest and back. Okay, there's no problem at all. Tianjun calmly put on his clothes one by one. After Yan Xianglou put away the needle roll, she took out a storage ring and handed it to Tianjun. Brother, these are all the elixirs I refined. Most of them are of the 8th or 9th grade. I have not been promoted to a god-level alchemist for a long time. Only a small part of them are god-level elixirs. They are all suitable for demon cultivators to take. She had already prepared these elixirs, just wanting to give them to Tianjun when she saw him. After all, she had promised to refine high-level elixirs in the future, and she wanted to refine some elixirs suitable for demon cultivation for him. Tianjun was not polite, he took the gift ring and put it away. The effect of the elixir Xianglou gave him 3 years ago was much better than the elixir refined by the highest level alchemist in the Demon Palace. Now Xianglou is a god-level alchemist, not to mention the effect. My sister's talent in alchemy and medical skills is so monstrous. She is already a god-level alchemist at this age. I thought to myself that the things I had given Xianglou were too few, so I had to get some good things for her. Now that she had a fiancé, she would have to prepare a dowry if she got married. Tianjun's sister couldn't be shabby when she got married. This is the first time Tianjun has worried about someone so much. Xianglou, what's going on with your fiancé? Tianjun asked. Even though he had heard rumors about them and knew that Xuanhuan and Yan Xianglou came from the lower continent together, he had never heard her say that she had a fiancé before. He naturally had to find out about his sister's marriage. Yan Xianglou didn't hide anything, and simply told Tianjun about her relationship with Xuanhuan. Tianjun pondered for a moment and said, from what Xianglou said, this kid is not bad. There is no need for my sister, Tianjun, to be wronged. If he treats you well, you can tolerate him, and if he doesn't, destroy him. Gizmo's lips twitched after hearing this. The destiny son of his family was to be discarded at will, but considering his status as the king of the demon world, he did have the capital to be arrogant. Although he was a little speechless, he was relieved by Tianjun's words. At least now it seems that Tianjun, the demon king, has no feelings for men and women towards Yan Xianglou, and indeed treats her as a sister. Yan Xianglou smiled, I have the support of my parents and brother, and my back has indeed become much straighter. Tianjun also smiled, Xianglou can support herself, we are just the icing on the cake. Gizmo nodded in agreement. Tianjun is indeed a smart man, and his words are the real truth. At the age of a woman who had just reached the age of hairpins, Yan Xianglou came to the high continent from the lower continent with her own strength, and became a miracle doctor and a god-level alchemist. Although her current cultivation level has not broken into the gods, she is a 16-year-old emperor level. How many women from this advanced continent can achieve this level of cultivation? Even if they can do it, their cultivation environment is different. Yan Xianglou grew up in a lower continent, and the cultivation environment is not even the slightest difference. It is a world of difference. If Yan Xiang had grown up in the higher continent, he would not dare to imagine his current level of cultivation. The same was true for Xuanhuan in his mind. Although Xuanhuan is a few years older than Yan Xianglou, he is already on the verge of breaking the gods at this age, and he is also the first person on the mainland. As far as he knew, the first person to break the gods in Xuanhuan continent was in his 30s. At that age, he was called a monster-like genius, let alone Xuanhuan at his age. If Xuanhuan had grown up in Xuanhuan continent, he might have broken his mind by the time he was a teenager. He had a hunch that Yan Xianglou was younger than Xuanhuan Pashan, after all, she came to the higher continent earlier. Yan Xiangleo was not surprised at all that Ge Tianjun knew her so well. To be honest, although they had spent a good time together, this was the first time they had met since they separated 3 years ago. But when she first met Ge Tianjun, she had a feeling that he and she were on the same road. They had experienced some things and relied on themselves to grow up. Especially knowing today that his mother actually wants to destroy his cultivation, how unkind he is. Brother, you know how powerful your sister is. If you have anything, just tell me and don't make me worry. Ge Tianjun understood the meaning of Yan Xiangluo's words. She was worried that he would be tricked again. If there was anything wrong, he would come to her immediately. Ge Tianjun laughed and said, as the elder brother, I let my sister worry about it. Brother, how many brothers do you have? Yan Xiangluo asked curiously. Xiangluo doesn't know about my situation. Ge Tianjun was surprised. Yan Xiangluo spread his hands and said, I just found out that he is the king of the demon world not long ago, and I don't have time to understand my brother's situation. Besides, I can't be sure of the news from the outside. The news outside, the phrase of Xiangleo pleaded with him. He laughed. Xiangleo said, it makes sense. That's right. Yan Xiangleo's tone and expression were clear. My father, the king, and his mother have 3 sons, and they have 7 sons with other concubines. We have 10 brothers in total, and I am the youngest. Ge Tianjun slowly explained his situation. Yan Xiangluo also learned about Ge Tianjun's living environment. She sighed, feeling very emotional. Sure enough, the royal family has no true feelings. He was born in a family at the pinnacle of power. Ge Tianjun is not happier than ordinary people. The only advantage is that there is no shortage of cultivation resources. But the emotional vacancies were much more than what she lacked. At least her parents really cared about her and did what they could for her before leaving. But Ge Tianjun was born when his mother's relationship with his father broke down, so neither of them wanted to see him. And he was the youngest among the brothers. Anyone could pinch him or bully him. In this environment, the little Ge Tianjun practiced hard. He left the demon palace at the age of 10 to go out to practice, often for 2 years. After not returning home for 3 years, he performed all his spiritual breakthroughs in a secret realm. His family didn't even know his level of cultivation until 2 years after he broke through. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 728. Just because his father's breakthrough failed and his longevity was coming to an end, he had to choose a successor to the throne. When the 10 sons gathered together, he discovered that the youngest son, who had been neglected by him for several years and had not seen anyone, was actually he has the strongest cultivation among the 10 sons. He also has a calm temperament, tough eyes, and a temperament that is actually the most outstanding among the 10 sons. The Demon King thought that because his son was born after his relationship with his wife broke up, they did not want to see him. Therefore, they did not even test his talent. He did not know when his spiritual roots were awakened, nor when he started practicing. At this time, the Demon King felt a little regretful. If he had paid attention to his younger son earlier, his achievements would have been even greater than what he has done now. The Demon King immediately tested Ge Tianjun's talent. He was actually the most talented person in the history of the demon world, and even he couldn't compare with him. The Demon King was overjoyed and felt that God was helping them in the demon realm. With such a Demon King in the demon realm would be even more powerful than the spirit realm in the future. Even what he had not been able to do in his life, this little son might be able to do it. Therefore, he did not hesitate to let Ge Tianjun succeed to the throne, and he succeeded him immediately. While he, the Demon King, was still alive, he abdicated directly and let Ge Tianjun succeed, and handed all the Demon King's people into Ge Tianjun's hands. This is the only care Ge Tianjun received from his father, but it was not because he liked and cared about him, but because he cared about his talent and cultivation strength. Although Ge Tianjun doesn't care whether he can become the Demon King or not, he knows that at this point, even if he is not the Demon King, the other brothers will not make it easy for him and will try their best to kill him. When the Demon King has people who are loyal to him, he will have the strength to protect himself until he becomes a truly strong man who is not afraid of anything. His father gave up the throne so happily and made him the new Demon King. For a while, his other 9 brothers had no chance to do anything. Coupled with the fact that their father was suppressing them, the succession was very smooth. But everyone looked bad, especially his brother Ge Tianyu, the third prince. His talent as the third brother was only lower than his own, and he was the successor of the Demon King by everyone at that time. Especially their mother, Ge Tianyu is the son she loves to see the most and has always been her pride. After learning that Ge Tianjun had become the Demon King, his mother went directly to his palace and asked him to give up the throne to Ge Tianyu, but Ge Tianjun directly refused. Ge Tianjun's words left the Queen Mother speechless. Ge Tianjun said, "Except for giving birth to me, you have never done anything for me, so please do the same in the future. Don't interfere in any of my affairs or decisions, and just be your Queen Mother." The Queen Mother was stunned for a while. She never thought that Ge Tianjun would talk to her like this. Before she could recover, she was taken away by people sent by Ge Tianjun's father. Until the time when his father disappeared into nothingness, he never saw the Queen Mother. Since then, although the Queen did not openly embarrass Ge Tianjun, his brother Ge Tianyu, the third prince, often took action against him. 3 years ago, Ge Tianjun also used his mother to plot against him. It was also at that time that Ge Tianjun knew that he had very few relatives and no longer expected any family affection. Yan Xianglou said in confusion, "You all know that she dislikes you so much, so how come you were tricked by her again?" Ge Tianjun naturally knew who she was talking about, and sighed, "Her life is short. She said she has figured it out. She is sorry for me, and she wants to treat me well in the last few years." "You believe it?" Yan Xiang was stunned. "At the same time, I also know that Ge Tianjun has been looking forward to his mother's love in his heart." "Yeah, but now I have completely given up." Ge Tianjun took a deep breath. Just after he found out that he had been poisoned by the magic cherry fruit by his mother, he really gave up. It turns out that the Queen Mother really doesn't want to see him, and she won't tolerate him living until she does. But he won't do anything to her. Although he has no favor, he still has a favor. This time she wants his life, so he has repaid her favor. From now on, she will only be the Queen Mother until her longevity. All. Yan Xianglou sighed and listened to Ge Tianjun narrate his experience. Needless to say, Yan Xianglou also knew why the Queen Mother wanted to show her favor to Ge Tianjun, and then used this opportunity to give him the magic cherry fruit, just to see her best in her lifetime. The beloved son ascended the throne of the Demon King. Why does my sworn brother raise tigers to cause trouble? This is what Yan Xianglou doesn't understand the most. Since he knows that the person who has been harming him is his third emperor brother, and he doesn't have the strength to deal with him now, why do he still keep him as a hidden danger? "I am here for the devil world," Ge Tianjun said. Yan Xianglou was stunned. "For the devil world?" "Yes, although Ge Tianyu is cruel and ruthless, his talent is indeed excellent, second only to me in the demon world. I understand that he is not willing to let me become the Demon King, and I understand that he tried every means to kill me. After all, no one wants someone to fall on their head. Although I can kill him easily now, the demon world cannot accept such a loss." Ge Tianjun's tone was very soft, but very firm. Yan Xianglou was surprised that Ge Tianjun's reason was to leave a powerful man to the demon world. How big of a mind does he have? How did he grow up to be such a broad-minded person in such a living environment? Perhaps Xianglou can't understand that we people in the demon world can fight no matter what we want, but once it involves foreign enemies, we will temporarily put aside our personal grudges and deal with the outside world together. I am no exception, and Xianxia is no exception. Xianxia explained a few more words, and then Yan Xiangluo understood how united the people in the demon world were. This is incomparable to people in the spirit world. Under the same circumstances, people in the spirit world would never be able to do this, and would even take advantage of the opportunity to kill their opponents. Why do I have some people who admire you from the devil world? Yan Xiangluo said with a smile. Xianxia was amused by her words. How else could we be destined to become brothers and sisters? Gizmo was also shocked by Xianxia's words. Ever since spirits and demons were divided into two realms, people in the spirit realm have considered themselves superior to demons and looked down on people in the demon realm. Although Gizmo did not have such a discriminatory mind, he felt that he is also someone who does not approve of practicing magic. However, his thoughts were suddenly shattered today. If the people in the spirit world had been as united as the people in the demon world, their Ji family would not have to pay the price of genocide. He agreed with what Yan Xiangluo said, and he also had some appreciation for people in the devil world. At this moment, a drum sound came from outside. This drum sound was a bit special. It didn't sound like it was knocked out, but it seemed like the aftermath of some kind of force impact, which spread far away. The magic drum actually sounded. Xianxia narrowed his eyes. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Fragrance Falls Ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 729. Yan Xiangluo saw Xianxia standing up and asked, Brother, what's going on with the demon transformation drum? Xianxia turned to look at her and said, Our demon tribe has a demon refining pool. As long as someone encounters a bottleneck in their cultivation and cannot break through it for many years, they can go into the demon refining pool to practice. As long as they can come out of the demon refining pool, they will definitely break through the bottleneck. But it's not that easy for those who go in to get out, so even the geniuses in the demon world don't dare to go in easily. What does this have to do with the demonic drum? Yan Xiangluo asked doubtfully. The demon refining pond is a treasured place for us demon cultivators to practice, but it is also a place where those who are not demon cultivators and want to become demon cultivators can realize their wishes. No matter what kind of power you have, as long as you can come out of the demon refining pond, not to mention spiritual energy, even if you practice evil skills, the evil energy will be washed away by the power of the demon refining pool, and only the demonic energy is left, which is the real demon cultivation. And the demon transformation drum is just such a person who has successfully transformed from demon refining. The evidence from the pool proves that as long as the demon is successfully transformed, the demon drum will sound, and one sound means success. The more drum sounds, the better the talent of the person who transformed the demon. Yan Xiangluo looked outside in surprise. The drum sounded. How talented is this person? Xianxia said, I just became a demon cultivator, my talent is average. After finishing speaking, he added, even if he has ordinary talent, but he can come out of the demon refining pool, his perseverance is not comparable to that of a demon cultivator with ordinary talent, so his strength will be much stronger than people of the same level. Yan Xiangluo walked to the door and looked in the direction of the sound. Who is this person who came out of the demon transformation pond? Is he a spiritual cultivator or an evil cultivator? Xianxia frowned. The two people who came in a while ago were both evil cultivators. Yan Xiangluo's eyes paused, and she was very surprised. Do you demons accept evil cultivators? Xianxia said, they are not accepting demonic cultivators, but accepting evil cultivators that have been refined in the demon refining pool. Before they enter the demon refining pool, they must make a promise that they will not betray the demon king for the rest of their lives, let alone do anything that harms the demon clan. Otherwise, their souls will be destroyed and they will never be reincarnated. Therefore, they can actually be regarded as servants of the demon world. This is to put it nicely, but it is worse to say that they are dogs of the demon world. Yan Xianglou understood that there were relatively fewer people in the demon world than in the spirit world. In this way, some effective slaves could be absorbed. It's a good way to recycle waste. Yan Xianglou didn't have any prejudice. Evil cultivators have wasted people by killing them, so the loyal servants who have been purified by the demon refining pool can be regarded as waste. Tianjun did not expect that she could accept such an approach from the demon world. You must know that the spirit world despises them for doing this and classifies demon cultivators as evil cultivators. Gizmo glanced at Yan Xianglou. She actually thought it was a good thing to do, but he also felt that Yan Xianglou was right. It was indeed better to recycle waste than to kill him directly. If there was such a demon refining pool in the spiritual world, all those evil cultivators would be of use. Have you ever been in the demon refining pond? Yan Xianglou asked. Tianjun smiled when he heard this. I have to go in. Before I inherit the throne, I must go into the demon refining pool to refine the demon. Only the one who comes out of the demon refining pool is the real king of our demon clan. And the ones who stay in it, the longer the time passes, the more powerful the talent will be, and the more convinced and supported the people of the demon world will be. Since the longer you stay, the stronger your talent becomes. How long did Tianjun stay there? Yan Xianglou asked curiously. How long have you been in there? 3 years, Tianjun said naturally. 3 years. Not to mention the loss of Yan Xiang, even Gizmo was surprised. He was the prince of the Nine Yuan dynasty. He knew a lot about the demon world, but he had never heard of anyone in the demon world being able to stay in the demon refining pool for 3 years. Well, I am the demon king who has stayed there the longest in history. It should be said that I am the demon cultivator who has stayed there the longest. I don't know if there are others coming after the ancients. Tianjun was trying to tease him, said in a tone of voice. Yan Xianglou stretched out her thumb and said in admiration, awesome. Tianjun curled his lips and smiled. At this time, he felt that this man had succeeded in turning into a demon at the right time, so that his sister could admire him as an elder brother. Yan Xianglou looked outside. When the evil cultivator comes out of the demon refining pool, he is considered a member of your demon world. What if someone who had a grudge against him before comes to find him? Tianjun said without hesitation, you must first make an oath to enter the demon refining pond. As long as he does not violate the oath, the demon realm will not expel him. However, he is responsible for grudges and life and death. If he has the ability to let the people of the demon realm help him and no one will stop him. Yang Xiang nodded, this is fairer. Tianjun sighed, there is absolute fairness in this world, but it's just as much as possible. The two of them talked for a while, and then another demonic drum sounded. Yan Xianglou asked in surprise, why are the drums so long apart? Tianjun said, this is another person who has successfully transformed into a demon. Yan Xianglou said with some surprise, these two people actually succeeded in turning into demons on the same day. Before Tianjun could answer her, they heard two more sounds of the demon turning drum. After waiting for a while and not hearing any more, Yu Xianglou said, isn't this person's talent extremely good? Tianjun said, it's just middle and lower class. Yan Xianglou raised his eyebrows. The previous human-turned-demon drum only sounded once. It was just that he succeeded in transforming into a demon and his talent was average. Now this one has rang 3 times, and it is actually only average and inferior. It seems that this demon refining pool is indeed unusual. Here comes someone, Tianjun said to the dark place. Immediately a dark shadow appeared in front of them. Your Majesty. Go and see which one succeeds in turning into a demon, Tianjun ordered. Yes, the black shadow responded and disappeared. The two of them walked back to the dormitory and sat down. Yan Xianglou thought for a while and said, if a spiritual practitioner above the level enters the demon refining pool, will he also be refined into a demon? The magic beads in her space have been absorbing the magic energy since she arrived in the demon world. Although it is not obvious, she is the master of the magic beads, according to natural perception. Yan Xianglou felt that the magic bead seemed to know that Ge Tianjun was there, and it absorbed the magic energy very well, leaving Yan Xianglou speechless. She doesn't understand. When you return to the demon world with a magic bead, you should feel like you're home. Why does she feel that it doesn't feel like home at all? On the contrary, it's more cautious than in the spirit world. I have never seen such a situation with my own eyes, but there is a record in the history of the demon world that a strong man from the spiritual world entered the demon refining pool, but did not see him come out, but the demon refining bell did not ring, indicating failure. It doesn't mean that he failed and became a mystery, Ge Tianjun said calmly. Devil turning clock, Yan Xianglou felt that the demon world seemed very mysterious. The fragrance falls ninefold. Author, Midday Sunday. Chapter 730. We have a demon refining pool in the demon world, which allows demonic cultivators to break through bottlenecks, and also allows evil cultivators and spiritual cultivators to wash away evil and auras and become demonic aura. The sound of the demon transforming drum means that the evil cultivators or spiritual cultivators have successfully transformed into demons. The ringing of the magic bell means that the demon transformation has failed, Ge Tianjun explained. Yu Xianglou was stunned. There is actually such a place in the demon world. This is simply a regret medicine prepared for evil cultivators. She said with emotion, the spirit world still doesn't quite understand what the real demon world is like. Although many evil cultivators are unforgivable sins, we have to admit that your method in the demon world can indeed be used to waste, but there is one thing. People who have been harmed by evil cultivators will never admit such practices in the demon world. Ge Tianjun nodded, that's true, so we won't interfere with personal grievances. If someone comes seeking revenge, even if they are already demon cultivators, personal grievances still have to be resolved by themselves. Whether it is the demon world or the spiritual world, the strongest person will, Your Majesty. Even if I am a demon king, I cannot change this fact. I can only try to balance it as much as possible. Ge Tianjun's tone was very helpless. The people of the demon world may feel that there is nothing the demon king can't do. Only when you are in his position do you know that the demon king is not that easy to be. It is a simple matter to make the people surrender. Yan Xianglou knew that what he said was true. Ge Tianjun tried his best to do things the best, but it couldn't be perfect. It is true that some things cannot be changed if you want to, especially if this kind of deep-rootedness involves some people who are not allowed to exist in the world. People in the demon world like it, but people in the spirit world must hate it. But he is a demon king, so as long as it is beneficial to the demon world, he is right to do so. So the rumors that demon cultivators are equal to evil cultivators have your own reasons for spreading, Yan Xianglou said truthfully. Ge Tianjun smiled, that's true, but it's better for people in the demon world to be honest. It's better than some people doing dirty things under the banner of justice. Yan Xianglou laughed and said, brother, let's not talk about this topic. No matter it is spiritual cultivation or demonic cultivation, none of us can guarantee that we are all good or bad people. The quality of a person cannot be accurately measured. It depends on under what conditions. Ge Tianjun nodded in agreement. Ji Zhong's current situation in the spirit world is not very good. He has a lot of troubles. Do you need my help? Yan Xianglou looked at Ge Tianjun with a smile. Brother, aren't you afraid that he will become the human emperor of the spirit world and compete with you? Ge Tianjun smiled heartily. It's not a problem that the spiritual world will continue like this for a long time. Sooner or later, a new king will appear. It doesn't matter to me who he is. If he has the ability to become the human emperor of the spiritual world, I can look up to him. That way if you have the strength to protect my sister in the spirit world, and with me in the demon world, my sister can run unimpeded throughout the 9UN continent, and I would be happy to see it happen. Although Yan Xianglou was moved by what Ge Tianjun said, she also understood that this must be done under the condition of peace between the demon and spirit worlds. She is not used to relying on anyone, but if there is someone to rely on, being pampered by others is also a happy thing. Ge Tianjun, as the demon king, could tolerate Ji Zhozhong becoming the human emperor, not just because Ji Zhozhong could protect himself by becoming the human emperor. Ji Zhozhong wants to protect himself, even if he is not the human emperor, he can do it. Ge Tianjun was thinking about the peace between the demon and spirit worlds. Ji Zhozhong became the human emperor and their relationship made it easier for the two worlds to reach peace. Just like the spirit world now relies on the breath of Yunzhang Palace and the demon world are at odds with each other. It is simply impossible to live in peace with the demon world. So Ge Tianjun's words also told Yu Xianglou that he was not a bellicose demon king. Jizimo, who had been listening, felt that their conversation was a little off topic. The brother and sister were not talking well at the beginning, but why did it suddenly escalate to such a profound issue as the world of demons and spirits? What a pity, he doesn't want to be the human emperor. Yan Xianglou shrugged. Ge Tianjun was a little surprised. Why? Now that he has the right time, place, and people, it is the best time for him to become the human emperor. If he misses this opportunity, it will not be easy to rule the spiritual continent again. Yan Xianglou said in a relaxed tone. He said, he finds it troublesome and doesn't want to worry about it. The corner of Ge Tianjun's mouth twitched. It was the first time he heard that there were people who disliked the trouble of being the king of mankind. Brother-in-law is very special. I must meet him when I have time, Ge Tianjun said solemnly. Jizimo's brows moved. Fortunately, he finally managed to avoid such a serious and profound question. Your Majesty, the voice of the man Ge Tianjun sent out came from outside. Come in, Ge Tianjun said. The guard in black that Yan Xianglou saw before came in, reporting to the king. It was the man who sounded the demon drum 3 times. Because the fragrance fell, the guard was still reserved in his reply and did not directly say the other person's name. Ge Tianjun narrowed his eyes and said, he must be from Third King brother. Exactly, the person has been taken away by the Third Prince's people, the guard said matter-of-factly. Ge Tianjun was not surprised. After all, he had known for a long time that the man was from brother 3 Wang. Pass this order. From today onwards no one is allowed to enter the demon refining pond without my permission. Ge Tianjun was reorganizing the entire demon world, but he forgot about the demon refining pond. Although not everyone can enter the demon refining pond, some desperate people are not excluded from making a last-ditch effort. Just like the 2 people who went in this time, the woman obviously didn't have much talent, but didn't she succeed in transforming into a demon even when the god of death was chasing her? Although the demon realm doesn't mind having more servants, it doesn't want all kinds of servants. The original intention of the existence of the demon refining pool was for those extremely talented demon cultivators to break through bottlenecks, not for evil cultivators to find a way to survive. At this time, Yan Xianglou still didn't know that she knew the 2 people who successfully turned into demons today. One was Miao Changjai and the other was Qin Suiyu. Just because I missed it today, these 2 people really made a big splash later. Next, Yan Xianglou deliberately changed the topic. Ge Tianjun did not avoid it. It was one thing for her to deal with the demon world, but it was another thing for her to take the initiative to ask. She could talk about innocuous information, but she would not interfere with other matters in the demon world. Yes, she still has sense of propriety. Ge Tianjun had someone prepare a sumptuous banquet, which was cooked by Ge Tianjun's dedicated chef. Although Ge Tianjun didn't eat much, there was still a chef. Not knowing what Ruan Xianglou liked to eat, Ge Tianjun asked Chef Ling to make 10 of his specialty dishes. Ruan Xianglue was not picky about food, but she was picky about taste. Chef Ling's cooking skills were good and she really ate a lot. Ge Tianjun also ate a lot with her. He hadn't eaten so much food in a long time.